In this WrestleTalk news, an AEW star leaving for WWE, heat with NXT and the USA Network, my review of Raw, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on, not just for daily wrestling news, but also for my sweet, sweet dance moves.
Support WrestleTalk!
Ringside News reported last week that Max Caster had been suspended from AEW for 2 months to undergo sensitivity training without pay, following a controversial rap from the 100th episode of AEW Dark on the 3rd of August, which included making fun of Simone Biles' mental health, a sexual assault case from the mid-noughties, the accuracy of COVID tests, and Julia Hart's Lady Parts. That last bit rhymed. Maybe I, as a white guy, really should embrace my true calling of becoming a rapper. Meanwhile, Fightful said they hadn't heard about a suspension, but did note Caster's AEW appearances were on ice. Ice Baby for now. Voices of Wrestling, however, called Ringside News' report total fiction. But during all this, Caster was pulled from an indie appearance, edited out of the following week's episode of Dark, and has removed any references to AEW from his Twitter. And now, he's gone even further, posting an eBay listing for his AEW ring gear with the description, "Need some extra dollar this month, and I don't think I'll be needing this stuff anymore. Get it off my hands." Caster has also now unfollowed a large number of AEW wrestlers, and then liked numerous WWE and NXT tweets. Additionally, his acclaimed tag team partner Anthony Bowens debuted a new theme song on AEW Dark Elevation last night, hinting he has been split from Caster. Caster has since deleted the eBay post and is still on the AEW roster page though, meaning this could just be good old-fashioned trolling. But if it is, poking fun of the company likely sending you to sensitivity training doesn't give off the best reforming image. What do you think is going on with Max Caster? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live from out of nowhere. Following NXT being sent back to developmental, with Vince McMahon and WWE officials overhauling the third brand to refocus on young big guys who can one day main event WrestleMania, the format change will reportedly include going back to the pre-taped episodes before they moved to the USA Network in 2019, which, unsurprisingly, the USA Network aren't that happy with. Andrew Zarian at the Matt Mem podcast is reporting that a network source told him a taped show is not what we paid for. He then clarified that this is not confirmation that NXT will return to a pre-taped format, but that USA probably wouldn't be too happy if they did. However, PW Insider is reporting that following TakeOver 36 this Sunday, NXT will at least be pre-taping 3 weeks of NXT shows, to then return to the live format on September 14th. No ex-WWE stars of Tease going to AEW for like 3 whole days, and I'm bored. Kurt Angle to AEW confirmed. Kurt tweeted a picture of him and AEW's TNT champion Miro saying, "If I didn't already have a room full of world titles and championships, I'd take that one too." Smirking face emoji. It's damn true. Angle recently said he'd return to wrestling if he was paid $10 million and it was against Kenny Omega. So you're telling me there's a chance?
To persuade females to come close and admire his plumes, he sings the most complex song he can manage.
Also, CM Punk posted some numbers on his Instagram story, which might be the years of the summers of Punk in 05, 11, and 21. CM Punk to hold the fist, Davis. Not until it's official. And now it's time for my review of last night's Raw in about 5 minutes. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Mad Mac the Meat Father, and Arnie K. The K stands for the coolest dude ever. Join us on Patreon today to enter the next season of Wrestle League that starts this Saturday with SummerSlam. You've only got until then to join. The show opened on Randy Orton's facial hair, confirming that actually, no, he doesn't like Matt Riddle. That RKO at the end of last week's episode was for realsies. And we're back where we started. WWE knows soap operas are meant to progress each week, right, and not reset like episodic TV. Riddle's music perfectly interrupted Randy saying RK bro to keep trying to be friends, which eventually turned into AJ Styles versus Riddle via the same promos we had last week, where Orton left his bro, not bro, all alone. So Riddle lost in 5 minutes because Amos was being too tall at ringside. Didn't interfere or anything or get physical. Riddle just lost because Amos's height has its own gravitational pull. As we know, height is an important thing in WWE. as a pecking order. So a special mention to backstage interviewer Kevin Patrick's crab walk into shot to talk to Riddle after the match to ensure he's not taller than him.
Excuse me, Riddle.
Excuse me, Riddle.
Excuse me, Riddle.
Riddle seemingly left the arena heartbroken by Randy not helping him, and Kevin Patrick walked off to interview someone else. After last week's double DQ, we got Rhea Ripley versus almost a superhero Nikki almost a superhero again, but this time with Triple A's Charlotte Flair on commentary. Forbidden Door. And to really build up Nikki, Ripley beat her clean in 5 minutes, barely an inconvenience. Nikki and Ripley beat up Flair afterwards, which didn't really mean anything because Charlotte pinned Ripley easily, barely an inconvenience, in a few minutes in a tag match later on. Raw's women's division is one of the worst things in the company right now, and it's painfully obvious they never had a single idea for Nikki once she won the title. Kevin Patrick spoke to MVP backstage. Excuse me, MVP. Drew McIntyre beat Veer and/or Shanky in a handicap match, barely an inconvenience, so they'll be barred from ringside in McIntyre's SummerSlam match against Jinder Mahal. Got it? Great Khali's returning again. Drew cut a fun audience participation pantomime promo afterwards to cover for the fact not one single person is buying this feud. We then had the debut of John Morrison's version of Miz TV, Moist TV, which actually wasn't that bad. There's something incredibly likeable about Morrison sometimes, and his performance here was perfect. The hard done by stooge starting to realise that, hey, maybe his heel friend is using him. Miz accidentally revealed to Damian Priest because, of course, Damian Priest was somehow in this segment, that he'd been medically cleared weeks ago, meaning Morrison had been pushing him around for no reason. Priest then squashed Miz with a brogue kick in a match and shouted at Sheamus. The Miz got Morrison back on his side afterwards backstage, where the New Day funnily tried to promote their new t-shirt in the background, but I feel like Miz is going to fully turn on John soon. Mansoor pinned Mace thanks to Ali assisting from the outside in some pretty obvious interference right in front of the referee's eyes. Whatever fun innocence this storyline had has been pummeled into the ground. Then came the big match of the night. Amos versus Randy Orton, a very tall man who hasn't taken a single bump, versus the Just Return legend. I hope WWE have got a great finish planned to make sure neither guy's momentum is undermined. It was an AJ Styles punch on Orton for the DQ. This would have been far more effective if Amos just entered beast mode and got himself DQ'd for beating up Orton too much. I know that's no good either, but it's far more interesting than AJ just decks Randy in a match where Randy is already being beaten. But RK Bro is so over as an act, I feel like people aren't realising how off the boil their storyline has become. The steadily told, well-paced, detail-orientated relationship from before Orton went on his 7-week hiatus has been replaced with a repetitive, contrived rush job. Orton said Riddle has finally earned his respect, announced RK Bro is back, and they'll challenge AJ and Amos for the tag titles at SummerSlam. This got a very good reaction in the crowd. Goddamn marks. Karrion Kross tapped out Jeff Hardy in seconds after jumping in before their match. This isn't doing anything for anyone. Eva Marie commanded Doudrop to steal Lily from Alexa Bliss backstage, but Doudrop got too scared looking into its eyes. Lily, stop it, you minx. Eva had to slap her twice afterwards. I guess Doudrop was hypnotized or something. I don't care. Reggie had a pre-tape where he talked about learning to flip in this very park as a kid when he was jumped by R-Truth and Akira Tozawa in disguise. Reggie flipped away all cockily and drove off. Personally, I think he'd be a better character if he was nervous all the time. We got another Elias promo, this time laying his own gravestone. AJ Styles cut a promo on Riddle to Kevin Patrick. Excuse me, AJ Styles. And the main event, our big SummerSlam go-home angle, was a face-to-face segment with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg that we've seen already. It was an interesting new wrinkle though, Goldberg revealing his new gimmick. Little League coach to a bunch of misfit but ultimately charming kids trying to win regionals and maybe, just maybe, learn a little bit about themselves along the way. Lashley said the word almighty, Goldberg said the bull S word, speared him, and then walked off with Sundberg in one of the lamer go-home angles in recent memory. What did you think of Raw? Let me know in the comments. 63% of you went for RK Bro-gether again, which certainly leans positive. I'm not though. I thought this was a rubbish episode. Repetitive, uninspired, no decent matches you can sink your teeth into. And with it being the go home, it utterly failed to make me excited for Saturday. This week's Raw is 1 out of 5.
Despite WWE often confounding us at SummerSlam with odd booking choices, uncomfortable moments, and the occasional Jon Stewart, there have been some truly joyous matches in SummerSlam's 33-year history. So sod it, let's give you 20 instead of 10. Hell, it's a summertime. You earned it. I'm Adam, hailing from parts unknown, and here are the 20 best matches in SummerSlam history.